beautiful production design, stunning costumes and settings, both perfectly gothic, absolutely gorgeous color grading, honestly refreshing, multiple miscast main characters, and absolutely none of the substance that the book had. Let's discuss. Now, I won't lie and say I read Emily Bronte's original novel and like absolutely loved it, thought it was a masterpiece. No, I read it for a class and I don't think I fully finished the book, honestly, because I did watch a video essay just so I could write like the essay that I had to be graded on just in time, or like I could submit it in time. And I don't remember the book like perfectly, although I do remember it having something that the movie simply does not, and that's something to say. The movie has nothing to say. Or is what she has to say ridiculously regressive and blatantly racist? Now, when I found out that Jacob Elordi was cast in this as Heathcliff, I immediately wrote the movie off because, don't get me wrong, love Jacob Elordi, hot, whatever. But Heathcliff is brown, as we all know, and that is integral to his character, as we all know. Then I found out she was cast in it, and I loved her in Watchmen, like she was phenomenal. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'll give it a go. Maybe Emerald's onto something. So I, logged into my little 1 to 3 movies and did what I had to do. I wasn't paying for that. No. And yeah, Emerald was onto something. She spent this movie villainizing POC characters and sanitizing the white ones, when in the book, all of them are straight trash. All of them. Well, not all of them. Let me explain. Now, there will be spoilers. I know I said I didn't finish the book, and I did not, but I did make it like over halfway through, and I did see, or like I did read Catherine's like death. I got that far. Mind you, let me just put this out there. Emerald only wrote like the movie is only like the first half of the book, and it's not even like fully accurate, but it's only like the first half of the book because there's so much book left after Catherine dies, bro. Heathcliff does not stop there. Like it just continues. Also in the movie, Catherine's death is much more like brutal for some reason. Like the child dies inside of her and she just dies soon after. But in the movie, in the book, she dies in childbirth. And like, yes, it's still brutal. It's still like horrific. And she was sick before then. But I don't know, with her death in the movie, it just felt like Emerald was going for like maximum shock value, which, she's known for. But I don't know. It was just different from the book and it felt like an unnecessary change. Or maybe she just didn't want to like add Kathy Jr. I don't know. Also in the book, reading her death, like it's been a couple years, but reading her death felt more romantic. And I don't want to say romantic because like she died in a horrific way. But like even Heathcliff's reaction to her death, like banging his head against a tree saying, "Drive me mad, haunt me for the rest of my days." Like it felt more romantic in the book, her death. And like darkly romantic, sickly romantic, but more romantic than it did here. Now, in the book, Catherine has a brother named like Handy Han. It starts with an H. She has a brother in the book, but he is the one, like in the movie, her father is portrayed as like the alcoholic and the abuser, but in the book, it's her brother who like truly abuses Heathcliff. Like he torments the boy all throughout childhood, and part of that is because like their father loves Heathcliff. Like he actually does care about Heathcliff, and he takes him in and he takes care of him, and he like raises Heathcliff basically as like his own child, and like the brother does not like that. He's very jealous of it. And a part of like his mistreatment a part of Heathcliff's mistreatment has a lot to do with how he's portrayed in the book as a black character. Like he experiences abuse by her brother's hands. Like he torments this child. But no, I'm sorry, not a black character. As a character of color. It's not stated that he's like black, but he is like portrayed as a brown character, Heathcliff. And this is integral to the story because it informs who they both grow up to be. For her, she grows up to be this woman who marries for money, marries for like a higher social status, and she can't marry him. In the books, when she says, "It would degrade me to marry Heathcliff," it's not only because he's poor, he's also brown. Like there's layers to it. And for him, it informs who he grows up to be, which is truly a despicable person. Sorry, I did the 15-second one and not like the full minute or whatever. But he grows up to be this despicable character because of the abuse he experienced, which was partially due to his skin color. And he is ostracized even as he like grows and becomes like I think he gambled and got all his fortune in the books, but he gambled, and even when he is like higher social status in the books, he's still not exactly accepted, and that's because of his skin color. So even if he had more money, she still socially, it wouldn't be allowed for her to marry him and like be happy with Heathcliff. And I feel like that informs a lot of like how terrible he becomes. Mind you, in the book, he hangs a dog just to like show Isabel, his new wife, just to show her that you will not be treated well in this marriage. And it is stated through like he abuses her through their marriage. He abuses her. It's not like some BDSM. He abuses her. And like none of that is in the movie. None of it. Yes, he was hit by her father, but that wasn't even like half of the abuse he experienced in the book. And for her, she's also very sanitized because how do I put this? Like in the books, she's not that torn up about loving both Heathcliff and her husband. She doesn't really care. Honestly, in the book, she seems to get off on how much power she has over them. She gets off on pitting them against each other. Like, she enjoys the affair. She enjoys that, like, they're both in love with her. Obviously, yes, she does love Heathcliff more, but even in the books, and I feel like this plays into him being a brown character. In the books, she feels, yes, she loves Heathcliff, but she feels like he is a part of her. Like, she feels like he is hers. Like, he belongs to her. He's like, the best way I can put it is she feels an ownership that is over him that is more than just like romance or like, you know, obsession. She truly feels like he belongs to her. Like, he's hers. Like, she feels ownership over him. And Heathcliff in the book feels the same about her, but he doesn't feel like he owns her. It's more so he's obsessed with her. He's obsessed with being hers. He's obsessed with like the very idea of her. He's obsessed with her. And I feel like all of that was very much, it was just portrayed as like this mutual obsessive destructive bond in the film. And like, while it is that in the books, I feel like it took away, him being white took away a lot of the nuance of it. Changing their backstory took away a lot of the nuance of it, and it just sanitized both of their characters in ways that were very like it made them more palatable. And like, she wasn't all that likable. She spent most of the movie honestly acting like a child. Even as an adult, she acted like a little girl, which was like a little infantilizing and odd. But it took away, and in doing that, it made them a little less interesting. It did. Like, they weren't as, I don't know, juicy or like fleshed out as they were in the books. They weren't good people by any means. They weren't even likable in the books, but they were more captivating. And this is reflected in Edgar being cast as a brown man who is white in the books. Now, he's not a villain, not in the books or the movie, but he is portrayed as like this cage that Catherine puts herself in, like this luxurious cage. And one of the oddest aspects of this movie is the room he makes for Catherine, which with pink walls with veins and moles on them. Pink walls modeled after her pink white skin, her beautiful alabaster pink white skin. That's weird, Emerald. Now, casting him as Edgar, like a brown man, when in the book Edgar is white and it is Jacob's character who is supposed to be brown, sends like a very strange message. And this was deliberate. This was deliberate. It sends like a very strange message of like, message of like, be careful, white girls. That brown man only wants you as a trophy. But that white man, now that's real love. It, and you can say I'm reading into it and maybe I'm too woke, but that feels very deliberate, and that feels like what Emerald is trying to say. Now, I remember in the books that Isabella was this like sweet character, and to me, from what I got from it, she was the only one who felt honestly like likable or even in any way like innocent, because the rest of them was like just messing over each other left and right. Honestly, like they was wilding out in the books, but she was the only one who felt like she wasn't actually like could have been a good person or whatever. And in this book, instead of keeping her in like as she was in the books, a victim to Heathcliff, she's made into, I don't want to say like a willing participant in abuse or her own abuse, because it's more so presented as like BDSM, but she's just made into like this ditzy character who like goes from being super childlike and innocent into like a sex
X.
demon. And it's first of all, it's a crazy transition. And second of all, the BDSM is not as hot as Emerald thinks it is. Like, and that's not to say like BDSM can't be hot. It's just more to say like the way she presents it here feels very just like ridiculous. It feels like a joke, honestly, a joke. They had no chemistry, like none, not an ounce of it. They had no chemistry, bro. And like, while both are great actors, yes, I felt like I was watching them act. Like, it didn't feel like they were these characters. I truly felt like I was watching them act, like just acting like they were being in love, and just no chemistry. Like, they weren't. They were, you know. And for those who are like, adaptations aren't direct retellings, yeah, I know. It still wasn't all that great. Outside of the book, if it wasn't an adaptation, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10 because it was gorgeous to look at. Absolutely stunning.